Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of English with Gemma, where we turn English practice into progress. So, today I don't have any notes, I don't have anything prepared. Um, so, this episode might be a little bit chaotic and a little bit all over the place because today I want to do a storytelling episode. I want to tell you the story of how I moved to Spain and also talk about some of the culture shocks that I experienced when I first moved to Spain in 2018. So, yes, let's start at the beginning. Not really the beginning, but the beginning of this period of my life. So, I was 21 years old. It was 2018 and I was about to graduate from university. I was in Manchester, England, and I was about to graduate with a theater and performance practice degree. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had no idea where I wanted to live. I was very lost, scared, confused. And my mom actually was the one that suggested that I study a TEFL, Teach English as a Foreign Language. It's a certification that you can do online or in person, and you basically learn how to be an English as a second language teacher. So I I was in an abusive relationship. I was in a really bad relationship. And my ex boyfriend in Manchester, I actually wanted him to come with me to Spain, but thankfully he said no and he didn't want to move to Spain. Thank God, because if he had moved with me, I think my life would have been very different or would be very different right now. Ooh, that's a nice little mixed conditional structure. If he had moved with me, past perfect, my life would be different right now. So that is a third conditional mixed with the second conditional. And that's what we call mixed conditional when we want to say how a past action influences our life in the present. So we're mixing past and present together. That's a mixed conditional. It's a very complicated structure and it's advanced level, like C1 and above. But I just thought I would highlight that little grammar moment for you guys. Anyways, I'm glad that my ex boyfriend did not move with me. So, yeah, I was in between Vietnam, Thailand, or Spain to study my TEFL course and to teach English. And I decided on Spain because I thought, it would be the least culture shock. It would be the least different from Bermuda, my home country. So, yeah, I decided on Spain. And then it was between Barcelona and Madrid. And I decided Madrid because, Madrid is the capital of Spain. And I don't know, I thought that it would be a bit easier. So, yes, 21-year-old me, very innocent, very naive. I just got on a plane by myself and decided to move my whole life to Spain. Had I ever been to Spain? No. Did I speak Spanish? Also, no. So I don't know. I think I thought it would be fine because when I was 13, no, when I was 14 years old, I went to boarding school in England. And that was like a huge life transition moving from Bermuda, going to England. I was completely by myself. And, that was very difficult. And I was really homesick, but I thought like, okay, I've already done like a huge like life transition and moved my life to a different place. So I thought at 21 years old, I was like, well, it's kind of the same thing. I've already done this. But the main differences obviously were like I didn't speak the language. It was a completely different culture. Um, and also I was going there to start a career in something that I had no experience in. Like I didn't know anything about teaching English. I didn't even study like English grammar in school. Like I had to learn everything from scratch. It was like it's pretty crazy now that I think about it. Anyways, so I arrived in Spain. My dad's friend, who is a Spanish man, who lives in Spain, he was supposed to help me like move in to my apartment and like I had ordered a bunch of stuff like bedding, towels, all the essentials that you need to move into a new place. And when he picked me up from the airport, he was in a big rush. Like he said that he was going to spend the whole day with me and help me like sort out getting a SIM card for my phone, picking up the bedding that I ordered. But basically, that was not the case. And he dropped me off directly to my new apartment. I was living with six people. There was a Spanish guy, a French guy, a French girl. I think she was French, a Russian girl, um, a Venezuelan girl, and I think that's it. And then at some point, some people switched. Even though I was only there for a month, like different people were coming in and out of this apartment. It was a very like temporary kind of living situation. Anyway, so this guy, my dad's friend, like dropped me off at the place with no bedding, no towels, no SIM card for my phone. I don't even know if my phone was working. I think I could use it on the Wi-Fi in the house. But yeah, basically, I walked into a completely empty bedroom. There was like a tiny single bed, nothing in the bedroom. Oh, no food in the fridge, no, nothing. And he was like, okay, bye. And I would just remember sitting in this bedroom in a new country after a long flight from Bermuda. I just sat down on the bed, kind of looked around me, looked around the room, this empty room in a place with six people who nobody spoke English, and I just started crying. It's funny now to think about, but oh my God, if I could go back in the past, I would give myself the biggest hug and just tell myself, like, everything's going to be okay. You're going to meet an amazing boy and have a beautiful 5 year relationship. You're going to become a successful English teacher. You're going to get through this really difficult TEFL course. You're going to learn Spanish. You're going to fall in love with the country. But no, I did not know any of that yet. And I was terrified. I had just moved my entire life to a different country. I didn't know anybody. And I remember calling my best friend in Bermuda and just crying and being like, oh my God, what have I done? Why did I do this? Because I had 1 week before my TEFL course started. So I didn't know anybody. I had no friends, no contacts. And I had arrived 1 week early with no plans. And I was so scared because I didn't speak the language. I didn't even feel like exploring and kind of going out and like getting to know Madrid. I was just like, I don't know. It was like I didn't really have a great plan. Anyways, so there was a nice girl, one of the girls, the Venezuelan girl, she kind of took me under her wing, which means like she kind of helped me and wanted to like protect me and just like be my friend. But she spoke no English and I spoke no Spanish. So I remember when it was summer when I moved and it was so hot. Summer in Madrid is like brutal. It was so, so hot and I couldn't sleep. So she took me to go buy a fan for my room. And I remember speaking to her only using Google Translate and just saying what I wanted to say and then showing her the screen. And like there was just the communication was crazy. Like we didn't speak each other's languages at all. And oh, another funny thing, because I didn't have any bedding or towels, actually, I had one towel. I don't know where it came from, but I had one towel. But the first night that I slept there, I literally slept on a bed with no mattress cover, no sheets, and my pillow was a rolled up towel. And I just was sleeping, no sheets, nothing, just completely exposed on this bed with a little rolled up towel as my pillow and just crying the first night. I don't think I slept very much that night. It's so funny to think about now how much my life has changed since then. Anyways, I eventually was able to walk to my school where I was going to do the TEFL course and pick up my order because I had ordered all my sheets and towels and everything to the school. But because my dad's friend didn't take me there, like I walked there. It was like a 20-minute walk. It was fine. Sorry. Anyways, so yeah, the second night or the third night, I remember I went on Tinder, the dating app, because I was like, okay, I don't know anybody. I need to like make a friend and I need to find someone that can like help me figure out what the hell to do in Madrid. So I met this guy, Javier, my ex-boyfriend, and we started talking and we just really hit it off, which means we had like an instant connection. We talked for a couple days and then we met in person. And oh, he was so lovely. He helped me go to the medical center and sort out like a medical card. He took me to the grocery store. Um, and then when I started my TEFL course, he came every day to my school and ate lunch with me. I'm actually going to start crying if I think about how sweet that was. He knew how stressed I was because this course was super intense. It was a 4 week TEFL course, sorry, 8 week TEFL course, or was it 6 weeks? I can't remember, but it was very intense. The days started at like 7 a.m. and then ended at 7 p.m. every single day. And I think it was weekends as well. Anyways, Javi, bless his heart, he came every day and sat with me in the park near my school and he brought me lunch and he ate with me and he talked with me and he was like my little piece of home. I'm actually going to start crying. Oh my God, I did not think I was going to get emotional about this. Sorry. But yeah, Javi was like this shining light and he made me feel at home in a country where I knew nobody and I had like nobody, and I'll always be grateful for that. Anyways, fast forward 5 years. Me and Javi are no longer together. But he's my best friend. And yeah, he is a huge reason why I decided to stay in Spain, you know? We were together for 5 years. I lived in Madrid for 5 years. That's where I first started teaching English. And after I graduated from my TEFL course, I started working in language academies and I gained so much teaching experience. And for the first 3 years, so I started in 2018, I think around 2020 or 2021, that's when I decided to make English with Gemma. And I quit my jobs teaching for other people. So I was always teaching in academies and schools. But then I was like, okay, I think I can do this on my own. And that was a huge life change as well, like deciding to basically become my own boss and make my own business at a really young age. Um, but of course, like Javi supported me so much, and yeah, I just kind of went for it, and then I what else happened? Oh yeah, I moved to Alicante after me and Javi split up. I went. I'm here in Alicante now, and it's so interesting to like reflect on the past 5 years of my life and how much has changed. And I guess the message that you can take from my story, I'm sure you all have similar stories, is that life is so unpredictable, but I think everything really happens for a reason. And even if you can't see it clearly in the moment, things are, there's a bigger plan. There's always a bigger plan, and it's happening behind the scenes and it happens slowly. But when you feel lost and confused and you feel like, what the hell am I doing with my life? Just remember that everyone kind of feels like that. Everyone goes through those moments in their life. And I think like you have to trust the process and realize that it's all going to work out the way that it's meant to. Of course, you have to make decisions for yourself that will, drive that momentum and drive your life path forward. You can't just sit around and think, okay, well, everything will work out for me if I just do nothing. Of course, you have to make decisions, but just trust that whatever decision you make, that's the right decision in that moment. And even if something goes wrong or goes badly, it's probably happening to you, well, for you, because something else needs to happen. And that bad thing or that really difficult moment in your life that happens, it's often clearing space for the right thing to come into your life. Like, for example, when me and Javi broke up, sorry, there's a fly flying around my room and he was in my face. Go away, fly. I'm trying to have an emotional moment. Jeez. But when me and Javi broke up, I remember being like, oh God, I was so heartbroken. I thought my life was over. Like I was so upset. And I realized that now, like over a year has passed since that happened, and it all happened for a reason. Every single thing. I look back at it now and I'm like, oh, that happened so that I could move to Alicante. I could become more independent. I could learn how to be okay on my own. I could learn how to prioritize myself and my business and my students. And yeah, a lot, a lot has happened that in the moment I didn't understand. But then when you look back, you realize that it all happened for a reason, even if you couldn't see it at the time. Anyways, wow, that was not the direction that I was um that I thought this was going in. I was just going to talk about my story moving to Spain and like okay, culture shocks. Let's let's change the topic and talk about let's wrap this up by talking about the biggest culture shocks for me. So, the first one I would say it's bullfighting. Like I always knew that bullfighting was like a thing in Spain, but when I first moved to Spain, I lived right next to Plaza de Toros, which is like the place, the bull ring, the big arena where they have bullfights. And it was really insane. Like, I remember hearing the crowds cheering, and it was so loud when they had bullfights going on. And I really I've never been to a bullfight because I really love animals. And for me, it's just that's animal cruelty. Like I don't support that. I understand it's part of the Spanish culture, but I think, it's 2025 now. I think we're in a place where we can realize that those types of things aren't necessary anymore. And, you know, there's different forms of entertainment. And I don't know. I don't think that we really need to have bullfights. There's a lot of places in Spain where bullfighting has become illegal, but that was a big culture shock for me, realizing how much it's still part of the culture and how many people still attend bullfights. That was a big shock to me. I never realized that. What else? Oh, like the fact that all the stores are separate. So like in Bermuda and the United Kingdom and the United States, you'll often find like a big store, like a grocery store, a supermarket, where you have everything in the same place. Like pharmacy and food and everything, it's all in one place. But in Spain, if you need medicine, you have to go to the farmacia, you have to go to the pharmacy. If you need like meat, you go to the carniceria. If you need fish, you go to the pescaderia. If you need fruit, you go to the fruteria. Like, I mean, there are now like Mercadona and big stores which have like everything in one place, but it's cool. It's interesting. Like there are separate stores for everything, which is a little bit annoying sometimes. Like sometimes I just want to buy paracetamol or ibuprofen and I have to physically go to the pharmacy and ask the pharmacist for it. Whereas in Bermuda, you can just buy that like in the grocery store. You don't need to talk to anybody. You just get it and go, which is a lot more convenient in my opinion. But yeah, a little culture difference. Um, One of the things that I loved, which was it wasn't really a culture shock. It was just something that I noticed was a cultural difference. Um, I love the culture of going to the bars and restaurants and really slowing down and enjoying meals with families and friends. You will see. even on weekdays, cafeteria, like cafes and restaurants and bars, like people just sitting with their friends, talking, enjoying tapas and beer and wine, even during the week. They're always full. And there's children, there's old people, there's young people, there's dogs. And it's really nice to see because in Bermuda, the restaurants aren't really busy like that during the week. On the weekends, sure, but not during the week. Like in Spain, they really value like quality time and like spending time together. Like you finish work and then you go and like tomar algo, like drink something with your friends. And it's really nice. And I love to see like the children playing in the streets and people sitting outside, and it's really nice. Another thing I noticed is like everything is later. The eating times are later. Like they eat breakfast at like 10 or 11. They eat lunch at like 2 or 3 p.m. and then dinner can be anywhere from like 9 until like 10:30 or even 11. 11 is a little bit late for dinner, but like it's 10 p.m., 9 p.m. It's a normal time for dinner. And the children, young children, also stay up really late. Like you'll see people on the streets in Spain with their babies in their strollers at like midnight, which is crazy. Like in Bermuda, like kids go to sleep super early. Like when I was a kid, my mom was like, okay, it's 7 p.m., eat your dinner and go to bed. No, in Spain, you're living your best life if you're a kid. You're out in the streets, like having the best time. So, yeah, those are the main kind of culture things. I'm trying to think if I can. Oh, okay, my last one, pipas. Pipas are sunflower seeds, and people love them. I don't understand. Like the culture of eating sunflower seeds is like so confusing to me. They basically just buy them in huge bags. Pipas de girasol. Girasol means sunflower. And they like have them in all different flavors, like barbecue flavor, unsalted, salted. And they're literally just sunflower seeds. And they sit there on the park bench in the metro while they're walking. And they just eat like so many sunflower seeds, and then they toss the shells like on the ground. You'll see in Spain like loads of, especially near like benches in the park, just like loads of sunflower seed shells on the floor, and people just love them. I don't know why. It's a huge culture just eating sunflower seeds, and they eat a lot of them, like big quantities of sun. I mean, they're healthy, it's great, but it's just like super random. I've never really been a fan of sunflower seeds. And I've tried them in Spain and I'm like, okay, I guess. I don't really know what the appeal is. I mean, they're fine, but it's kind of annoying like taking the shell off with your teeth. But Spanish people, they do it so fast. They're just like, and it's crazy. Anyways, yeah, that's something that was weird for me. There's probably a lot of different culture shocks, but this is a long episode and I've already cried and now I'm I feel like I need to go like lie down. That was a lot of emotion that I was not ready to experience today. Anyways, I think it's good to be emotional sometimes and it's good to reflect on your life, and I hope that you guys enjoyed hearing that story. And I would love to hear your similar stories. What was something in your life, a period in your life where you felt really lost or really confused, but then it all kind of worked out? I would love to hear those stories. So if you feel like sharing, please feel free to write me a comment below. And I promise I will read them and I will reply. I always love reading your comments and your stories. It's so cool to connect with so many amazing people from all over the world. I'm always really grateful to interact with you guys. All right. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.